name is Fumilayo Bisola Akinshola. I am a 3-year-old lady. I graduated from the Polytechnic Ibadan Accountancy Department, year 2012. I got an exemption for my youth service, and I got an opportunity for a job in Abuja. I was on my way to Abuja. I actually went to Ibadan from Lagos to get my results so that I can take it along with me as required. I went to Ibadan Poly. I went inside the school to get the result, but unfortunately I couldn't get my result that day. But it was someone assured of posting it to me because I needed to go to Abuja the following day. I was on the bus on the 5th of February 2013 with a very close friend of mine and other passengers. We haven't moved up to 10 minutes. That was where the accident happened at Ashejire.
Okay, well, what do you call the name? How did you start? Was it that did you enter the vehicle in a motor park, or
yes,
it was a moving vehicle?
No, at the motor park, Iwo Road.
Okay.
I usually go to Abuja, but I go through Songo, UI.
Okay.
But this time around I went to Iwo Road for the first time. I left an uncle's place in Ibadan, because that was where I passed the night with my friend,
okay,
with the family. And it was very early in the morning, around 6 a.m. Just wanted to get the early bus. We left and we got a bus from, he lives around Ijokodo area.
Okay.
So we got the bus and we got a cab to go into Iwo Road directly from then. So we got to Iwo Road. But the car didn't take us to Iwo Road because the car got 40. So we had to trek all the way and we got to Iwo Road. We got to Iwo Road and we joined the bus. Some passengers were inside already and we joined and we moved. And we were on our way when suddenly, I don't know what happened. It was later I got to know the bus somersaulted 3 times and caught flame. It was suddenly it was like I was sleeping.
In a trance?
Yeah, it was like I was sleeping. Somebody woke me. That means somebody said, at the hospital they said I fainted. That means I fainted. So I don't know what, I don't remember what happened at that scene. But what I remember was that somebody woke me from the sleep, and the person was putting on the whites and asked me to pass through a passage, and it happened. Then I landed on the floor, and everybody there, because it was already burning. People were burning already, so they don't know I survived. They never knew it was the person that came out of the bus was alive. They didn't come. Nobody came to me, so I started waving at people that I'm alive. That was when people said, she's talking. Then they moved closer to me.
No. How many people? How many of you in the bus? Was it 18 passenger bus?
Yes. The lady at the front, because I was sitting in the middle.
Okay, in the front.
No,
okay,
in the middle of the place. The 3 people: the driver, the person next to the driver, and the lady at the door.
Yep.
The first one fell down and died immediately when it somersaulted. So the driver and the other lady flew off too. They
were flinged out.
Flinked out
of the vehicle.
All of us at the back were not able to come out because it was fire, and nobody was able to quench the fire. It continued burning. But how I came out was a miracle, because everybody never thought. They said it to my face that she must have gotten something on her that make her come out of this fire, because everybody were burning already. And then when I came out, I landed on the floor. I don't know, I was injured. It never occurred to me that something bad has happened so much like that. I was hearing my friend screaming my name. She was shouting my name, and I was going to stand up to rescue her, because I started shouting people to help me. Please help me with Funke. That's her name. Please help me with Funke. That was the only thing I remember shouting. Then I was going to get up. I realized I couldn't because my leg was broken. So my leg was dangling, but I never knew other things has happened. I thought that was the only injury I got. Then I started shouting, "Please, my leg is dangling. Please don't don't let me die." And people helped me. The road safety federal road safety corps came around, and they tried to quench the fire, but it was not possible. People were already burning. Some people wanted to come out from the window side, but the fire caught them there. A guy I can remember I saw trying to come out, and the fire held him back, and he couldn't come out. So they couldn't rescue anybody in the fire. I was not rescued. I don't know how I got out.
So nobody even rescued you?
No, I was not rescued.
Would you say your coming out was miraculously or spiritual?
Yes, it was.
Miraculous?
Yes, I can say it.
That God was involved.
Because it was like I was sleeping. That was what the nurses said. That when it seems like I was sleeping was when I fainted. So somebody woke me, and the person was putting on white. I can remember very well. This is not something someone told me. I can remember somebody woke me and said, "Come through this passage." But when I went through that, I think that was the process. I got the laceration, because I got a very deep laceration.
Okay, on your bum? Is it a bum?
Yes.
Okay.
With broken glasses inside.
Jesus Christ.
There were a lot of glasses inside that it took a while for them to take off. I was rushed to emergency room in UCH.
When you got to UCH, what was the reaction?
The first thing, every other thing I forgot, but the first thing I remember was that the nurse asked me that they have to tear my clothes because it's already burnt. And that was where I got to know I was burnt. Initially, I wasn't feeling the burns. So she said, "We have to cut your clothes because it's burnt." And I said, "Go ahead, cut anything." That was the last thing I remember. So after which, what I got to know later was that at the emergency room, they told my lecturer, Mr. Adekola, because he came around, he was the first person to drop money. Because they weren't treating me because of money. He was the first person to drop money.
They abandoned you?
They abandoned me.
Like, yes. For how many hours, if you remember?
I was in emergency room for 23 hours, 45 minutes before I was taken to Bonds units.
You are not attended for 23?
I was attended to with morphine.
Okay. What's morphine?
Morphine is the IV morphine is a painkiller, and it was in the process that I woke up. Though they already told my friends that I'm not going to survive it, and they said that time I was having this whitish saliva.
Oh my God!
So they believed it.
That you're going to die.
So people have started posting on Facebook that I already died. According to what I got to know later, but that time my brother wasn't around. When he came, I don't know when he arrived. So I remember he woke me, and I couldn't open my eyes very well. I was so weak, and he went to them that I haven't eaten. It was in the morning. I think it came around 4 p.m. I haven't eaten. I was so tired. They gave me that morphine, and it weakens me. Though it doesn't make me feel the pain, but it weakens me, and I couldn't talk. He asked me questions, I could not respond. Then he stylishly went ahead to give me to buy. A nurse advised that he get a glucose boost and apple for me. It was when he started giving me that boost that I could talk. So that means if I hadn't taken anything, maybe I would have died in the process. Because that was the first experience I remember ever. That, morphine, give me morphine, and they said they should not give me food. So after which, 23 hours, 45 minutes, they said Bonds unit will not take me after 24 hours.
What's the meaning of that?
They don't take any patient with Bonds after 24 hours in Bonds unit in University College Hospital Ibadan. That's their procedure. I think they still do that up to now. When you have Bonds, if it's over 24 hours, they take you to general ward, which may lead to infection and death. And that is the reason, I think, because people said people don't survive Bonds, deep dermal Bonds like this in UCH.
So how did you, in your own case, it was also like that. They were going to abandon you with your bonds?
Yes, they
abandoned you. So what was it? What was the reaction?
This Mrs. Aluko who came around.
Mrs. what?
Aluko. I don't know her, but she was one that went ahead to call some doctors, and Dr. Lawan was the one that said they have to rush this lady to Bonds unit before 24 hours.
Dr. Lawan.
Dr. Lawan, I can never forget her in my life.
With two of them are women?
Yes, they her. Mrs. Aluko, I can't remember what she does, but I remember Dr. Lawan was my doctor, and she was like a big sis to me there. She take care of me like she knows me before the accident. So I was rushing, they had to rush me because it was 15 minutes to the expired time. So they were rushing me. Then I started feeling pain. That was when I know I have a lot of injuries. When they took me to Bonds unit, they put me at the corner and said they have to watch for 5 days if I don't die. But there's no assurance I will not die in 5 days. So that was what they told my father when he came. So
they were bold enough to tell your father that 5 days is the guarantee.
Yes,
they are looking at
that
you're going to die in 5 days.
Yes.
That was their own verdict.
That's Bonds case like this. I had deep dermal burns to my gluteal region, which got infected afterward. I had burns to my right leg. I had tibia and fibula fracture to my left leg, and there was bones. They put a cast on the left leg to hold the tibia and fibula fracture, but there was bones inside and it was decaying. They were treating the bones on the right. They were not treating the bones on the left. They did not fix my bone so that it could heal. So it was healing wrongly. It was going a wrong direction. So. Yes, I have X-rays of everything. I have X-rays of everything.
So that means they were giving you wrong treatment?
Yes.
In UCH?
Yes. Some doctors tried, but it was not enough. We spent a lot of money every day because different doctors come around and say, buy this, buy that, and eventually they don't use it. So initially we spent around 200,000, 150,000 every day, and they tell me to eat 30 eggs in a day, 20 eggs in a day.
Eggs?
Yes.
As in cooked eggs?
Yes.
That was the prescription? From who?
From Bonds units. That's what will heal my wound. It was tiring. I got tired of eating egg. They said that's you eat egg, you eat meat. But the quantity was too much for me. Saying I have to eat 10 in a day, in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, and 10 at night. I got tired of eating egg, and I thought that I was unable to eat. It was like that, and this mindset of I will die was there. They gave me that mindset that one cannot survive this. It was too much, according to them. They said I had a complicated issue. But when I told Dr. Lawan, because I was believing them initially, almost believing them, I told Dr. Lawan, they said my case is complicated. She said, never say that to yourself. This is not complicated. It's because they are not efficient ones to take care of things. This is not complicated. There's nothing complicated. So far you are still talking. So far you are still breathing. And that was when I got the courage. I was taken to general ward, after which, they treat my wound with iodine. I feel pain. There are some nurses that make me feel hell of pain because I had.
What was their reaction to you, those nurses?
For example, I had dislocation, pelvic dislocation.
Pelvic at the back.
Yes, and they advised I have to rest on my back. Despite the bones on my gluteal region, which hurts so much, they still want the pelvic dislocation to heal too. So I was advised to lie on my back for days. For weeks, 6 weeks, so that it can heal naturally. One day I did not defecate for so long. I was not eating, I was not defecating, and they said it's wrong, it's dangerous for my health. Instead of them to help me, a nurse just came around. He's a man, but I can't remember his name. He was the only man in Bonds unit then. He was so arch that he came around and just lifted me up, like he said, you're too lazy, you're too coward, you're just trying to make me feel that I am the one making my problem worse. He lifted me and put me on a bedpan, and I was screaming. Then Dr. Lawan rushed down and said, don't you know she have the pelvic dislocation? Then she was mad at them. And then a lot of, the pain got worse, and they had to give me so many medications for the pain to subside. After which they had to take me back to general ward because they were requesting for some money that was so much in Bonds units. that we couldn't afford at that time, and my parents told them they would pay it, but they did not accept it, despite how much we spent. So I was taken to general ward, and that was where we started noticing that my wounds has been infected. I got tired of general ward, I got tired of UCH, and I said I wanted to leave. But I couldn't just leave without doctor's consent. So I told doctor I want them to refer me to Lagos so that I can go for my treatment in Lagos where we live. It's going to be easier because they don't allow my family to do things for me, and they don't do it.
So they debarred your family from showing you concern, and they just abandoned you. Did you suspect that they were having the faith or the belief that you're going to die and that you should just die?
Yeah, they not said it's rare for me to survive.
They not said that to you?
Yes, in
UCH,
general ward.
Yeah. A male nurse or a female nurse?
A female nurse. She said, I can't remember her name. I've forgotten most of them now. But if I see them, I can still maybe recognize them. There's this time they give patients attendants to enter the ward, and when the time is due, they ask them to go out. So when I need assistance, you call on them. You have to scream before they answer you, like 1 million times before they respond, and they were like, "What do you want again? You want to call Wambeni? Like, are you the only one there? That is what they do for everybody."
Almost
so
everybody, all the patients.
Yes, Bukola. There's a girl we met. She's now a friend. Bukola, we chat a lot. We talk on phone. She had a very serious case too. She, and I know some of them too, because we used to talk. So in the general ward, we talk, we communicate.
So there was no compassion, really.
There was no compassion. It's everyone they treat like that. I wasn't the only one.
They treat them like shit.
Yes.
Like as if.
Except they see this senior doctor come around, that's when they pretend. But when nobody's around, there was a time I had to report because I was getting tired, and a nurse came back to me and said, now that you've reported, then the doctor will be the one treating you. You have to call the doctor to come and treat you. You understand? Then I got scared, like, this is going to be dangerous for my health. I requested for a referral, and they said Lasot, which we left UCH.
When did you leave UCH for Lasot?
We left that after it was 7 months of my stay in UCH.
After 7 months in UCH?
It was 7 months of my stay in UCH. We left. We got to Lasot, but there was no admission bed, and there was in Bonds units. And there was ongoing strike, doctors' ongoing strike as at that time. So I was not admitted, there was no room, so I was taken to a private hospital. I was first taken home, then they sourced for a private hospital, then I was taken to private hospital.
Now let's go back to your pelvic region. There's a picture that shows that there was a high laceration on your bum.
Yes.
The two bum, and there was a deep hole there.
That was the infected part, so they had to cut. In India, that was what
happened in India. Okay, before we go to India, now you were taken to a private hospital here in Lagos.
Yes, and the doctor advised I leave for a foreign country where they have the enough knowledge and enough, because the case has been complicated,
highly complicated.
Yes,
from UCH.
The case is beyond what they can do in Nigeria. So we started planning on how to leave. We seek people's opinion, and some people said India is cheaper, and though US would have been the best place, but India is cheaper. Okay,
let's go back to UCH. At Lang, there was a time that they wanted to create something by your toe stomach where you're going to urinate.
Okay, there was a doctor that came to me. She came up and said, "Your wound is not healing." And I said, "Yes, I'm concerned because I used to lie prone. I lie prone for years. I lie on my chest.
For months?
For years.
For years.
I eat on my tummy because the wound has to heal up. So I lie on my chest, and that has been the way I used to lie down until recently that I started lying on my back.
Okay.
So then she came up to me and said, "Your wound is not healing up," and I thought she was coming with a solution.
Okay.
She's a doctor, a female doctor, And she said, the reason your wound is not healing is because you are defecating from, and it's affecting your wound. And I said, I said, what's the solution to it? She said, you have to stop defecating from the anus. We have to create a hole on your side, and that's going to be a colostomy. I don't know what colostomy was then, but thank God for internet. You can search on internet to know whatever someone says to you, according to what a doctor told me. I said, okay, what is the colostomy going to be for? She said there's going to be, that's where I'll be defecating. I said, forever? She said it's going to be a permanent colostomy. She's
permanent colostomy?
Yes.
Permanent colostomy, not temporary?
Not temporary.
So what's the meaning of that?
That means that's the way it will be. Something came to my mind to say that I should talk. Because my everything they say, we believe them because they are the one in charge. But my mind said no. And I said, sorry ma, if my wound is not healing from the gluteal region is not healing because of feces, because I defecate. What about my leg that is not healing? Am I defecating from my leg too? And she's kept quiet for a long time. She did not respond. And I said, madam, please answer me. Am I defecating from my leg? Why is my leg not healing? And she left me. She said she'll be right back. And the next thing, because I was lying prone, I did not see her. The next thing I saw was that my mom said, she's going already. She's not coming back to me. Then I started shouting her name. She did not. I started calling her doctor. She did not respond. They left.
So she didn't have any response for you?
Yeah, no.
So that means it was a horrible presentation.
Yes, she regretted saying it, I believe. Because if she had said my gluteal region was not healing because of feces, why is my leg not healing too? Why was my leg infected too? Because the deep dermal bones on my leg that makes it tiny, very tiny then, it's a bit better now, was so tiny, and the wound was so much that anybody that sees it then, somebody fainted when he saw it. One of my uncle, my mom's elder brother, saw it and he fainted because he never knew that was how big it was. So we left UCH. That was the process of leaving UCH and everything. And I got to India, and immediately I got to India, they said it. That was the first thing they wrote about it. This wound has been affected. It's decaying inside, and when they started treating, the treatment was so painful. Because when they had the plastic surgery for me, I had a couple surgeries there. They have to do my dressing under anesthesia.
Anesthesia?
Every time, because the pain was too much. They have to take care of the fracture. And one thing I forgot again was that the donor sites where they took flesh in UCH to cover my bones, to cover my gluteal region and the leg in UCH, healed 98% the first time they opened it, which was 14 days, the normal day they should open it. Healed 98%. And the doctor that opened it said he shouldn't cover it again, but due to the process of UCH, he will have to cover it. Then he covered it and said another doctor will come over to dress it up and it will be healed finally. We expected the doctor to come, nobody came around, and we were calling on the nurses and they said they cannot do anything. I will never forget that statement, that they will never do anything on me except the doctor asked them to do it. That they cannot open my donor site. That is not their duty. It's the doctor's duty. And I said, okay, call on the doctors and let them know that this is happening. It took us another 2 weeks, I think, and the wound started bringing out greenish pus.
Jesus. Greenish pus?
Yes.
Jesus.
And what healed 98% went back to 2%.
2%?
Yes.
So
from 98% healing went back to 2%.
So that means it started decaying?
Yes, it decays. And that is still the reason the part never healed up. Both sides. This and this. It's never healed. It's so worse here. Look at it here. It's worse here.
Jesus. I've seen it. Yeah, you're sure.
So it's got worse. That was the part I forgot. So when I got to India, they were so angry that how could they make a donor site go this worse? Where are they going to take flesh to cover up the wounds now? So they have to treat this at the same time treating my bones on the right leg, treating the tibia and fibula fracture because it grew when they had X-ray for me. I always have pain. lifting me, turning me around was painful. So they have to give me pain medication upon pain medication, and that is what is affecting me now.
That's the Indian treatment.
Yes, they have to give me a lot of pain medications because the pain was too much. They were so compassionate that they don't want me to go through any pain, but it was not possible. I still go through pains. So in India, they said it that my wounds have been infected. And when they tried to have the plastic surgery, that was when they discovered that my wound has decayed inside. It was just the surface that was looking a bit better, which is not even good, but was looking a bit better, but inside was decayed. So they had to cut part of my gluteal region off for me to be healed. Otherwise, I was going to die.
Oh, they cut your bum bum?
Yes, they cut it. Yes, it's in the picture.
Oh, that picture? Yes. Where we saw a deep hole in your bum bum?
Hole. So it's inside that was... So they have to use a vacuum dressing for me. There's
vacuum dressing?
Vacuum. It's like they plug it to electricity. They plug it to electricity for drainage. Because that make it contrast. It was already when they close it, it opens back. When they close it, it opens back, and that was the process. They had to look for a way out for that to be done. Otherwise, there's no way. If they have to cut this part, then I'm no more. So they looked for every options, and they were successful through the help of God, because that was miraculous too. So I was fortunate when the vacuum dressing, though it took a while, and they had to put a Elisar device on my right ankle, because in UCH, in the process of using bandage, which they said was wrong in India, in UCH they were using bandage to do my dressing. Anybody do my dressing, even the student nurses do dressing.
They allowed everybody to touch you. Even the student nurses.
Student doctors, student nurses do it.
So you are like a practical.
They practicalize on me so much.
They practicalize on you.
They did. I can confirm that it is glaring. They did a lot of things.
Without even caring that you can die in the process.
They don't mind. So in the process of turning, they said the reason the ankle got twisted was that when the fire was still new, when the burns was still new, anything that goes around it, whatever position you place it, that's where it goes. So they were bandaging it, and it got twisted in. So it got stived to that position. They tried to straighten it in UCH the first time, but because they still have to take it out, they don't have a device that could hold it without taking it out. They use a cast. So they have to take the cast out to do the dressing. So every time they take the cast out, it twists back. So every time they put it, they have to put it back again, take it out again for every dressing. So in India, they use, instead of using a cast, they use an Elisar device, which gives space for the wound, and still try to do the correction of the ankle.
Okay.
So they can do the dressing.
What do you call the device?
It's called Elisarov or Elisaros. Elisarov or Elisaros device. They don't have it in UCH. That was what they said they should have used for me. That will straighten it out, and that will help. They don't need to take it out until when the leg is properly healed, and that does not stop them from doing the dressing too. But because they use a cast, they have to take off the cast, do the dressing, put back the cast. That was the reason it got stiff to that position, and it was not easy to correct.
So will you say you got a jungle medical treatment in UCH?
Yes, I did.
A jungle medical?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Though some doctors were good, but they don't have the facilities to do it. Few, so not some, very few of them. Very
few are compassionate.
Very few are compassionate. Dr. Iwole, Dr. Yunyo, Dr. Lawan, Dr. Nwadijo. Those are the 4 people I remember very well, because they were so constant with me, and they give me assurance that if, with the grace of God, I'll survive. So when they tried to use the Elisa device for me, it took a while. It took 6 months, but it never got corrected because it was damaged beyond repair. So the Elisa device couldn't do it. That was what they have in India to do it. So, but they fixed my left leg, which is the tibia and fibula fracture. But I got to know now that the reason I'm feeling so much pain is because the rod inside it's in my history. You see it there.
Okay.
The rod inside the one they use, because that was the only option they had then. The rod they use is too long and it's touching my. Whenever I step on my foot, it touches it, and it's hot.
Oh, the rod is still there?
It's still there. It's longer than what they should use.
In India?
Because they don't, the bone was shortened. The bone had to be cut, and they take some bone. They took a bone from my rib to help it join together. Yes. So the rod inside the leg now is too long, and the two nail is too long. So that is one of the reasons my pain is so bad. Second thing is that we had to live in there when, and I got referred to United States of America.
How many more after?
I spent 8 months
in India.
Yes, but I couldn't go from India to United States of America. We already, my father expended all his retirement benefits on me. But fortunately for me, during that time, Governor Aregbesola sent 500,000 naira to me through Uncle Gbenga Aregbesola, comrade or Honorable Gbenga Aregbesola. He sent 500,000 naira to me, and we were able to settle some bills. So we left India for Nigeria and we started processing my trip back to United States. Then I was sitting up, but not so well. I couldn't stand. I still lie prone. Though I wasn't sitting at all before I leave for India. I only managed to sit on the wheelchair, a very big wheelchair. So with cushions surrounding it, that they have to lift me. Up till the time I got to US, I was still being lifted. So I went to United States, and I met with different doctors. Though the estimate they gave us was for when they saw the pictures, they saw the picture and sent estimate to us. It was around $15,000. So we thought we were good to go. We went, but unfortunately when we got there, the plastic surgeons saw me and said I had to visit different doctors.
Okay.
Before I eventually came across the person that told me that this is not the first thing to do. Plastic surgery is not the first thing. Orthopedic is the first thing because we are not working yet. We need to work before we start anything that has to do with plastic. So let's look for an orthopedic doctor that will take care of this first. But all those visiting has to do with money. I pay for a doctor's visit. I pay for emergency room. I pay for many things in a Cleveland clinic. Before I eventually saw an orthopedic surgeon who said he's going to amputate the leg. I felt bad, and he said even with amputation, he can't amputate it right now because my nail was bent like this. It was not. So now he said he cannot amputate a bent nail.
Jesus.
So I need a straight nail for him to amputate my leg, so that they can put the artificial one there. So eventually when he noticed that I wasn't comfortable with the amputation, he suggested I go. He referred me to Dr. Sontich.
Dr. Sontich.
John K. Sontich in Metro Health Hospital. And when I met with Dr. Sontich, he said he's going to be able to do it. He said he will be able to do it without amputation. Though it's going to take process, which it does. I had the decubitus ulcer from Nigeria before I go.
Okay, ulcer.
Yeah, decubitus. No,
what do you call it?
Decubitus ulcer. There's a paper for it. That's in my document. It shows I had decubitus ulcer.
Decubitus.
Decubitus ulcer.
Okay.
They said it was at the ankle here.
Okay.
Yeah, this is right here.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah. Okay.
That was where I had the decubitus ulcer. So the doctor said for that reason he can't do the 2 surgeries at a time.
Okay.
But thank God the ulcer healed up and he was able to carry out the surgery. But when we got estimate. It was $32,000, and then I was out of cash. So, but fortunately for me, church started planning on what they can do.
The church,
which I attend, New Song Church, New Song Ministry, through Pastor Tony Omojafo and Deacon Dipe Oresoya. They started planning on what they can do together with every member of the church. So, but unfortunately, Dr. Sontich was leaving Metro Health for University Hospital. He got a job there. He got a better offer. So he left Metro Health to University Hospital. So they have to transfer my case from Metro Health to University Hospital.
That's where?
In Cleveland. Stay in Cleveland.
Okay, good.
So we got to University Hospital, UH. It is called UH. It's a very big hospital and a private one. Metro Health is cheaper than University Hospital. So when I got an estimate for the same surgery Dr. Sontich wanted to do for me at the rate of $32,000, we got estimate of $326,000 as the estimate. $26,000. The difference was about 11 times, or multiplied by 11 of what they gave me Metro Health. Because University Hospital and they are not going to use a refurbished device. They wanted to use new one. Metro Health is going to use a refurbished device. That makes it cheaper. So Dr. Sontich went ahead and write a note for me on my behalf that we can't afford that amount, and he wants my surgery to be carried out as fast as possible so that it's not too late. So eventually I was referred to St. Elizabeth Hospital, where Dr. Sontich go once in a while.
As a visiting doctor?
Yeah, as a visiting. Thank you so much. As a visiting doctor. So I got there and they gave me estimate of $30,000.
$30,000.
But then I was with no cash. So my father tried to contact people here, but nobody responded. But fortunately for me, as they were gathering money in the church, they were able to put $2,000 together. And because I have to pay for, the reason I don't have any money on me again was that I have to pay for accommodation, transportation, feeding, doctor's visits, and medications, which were very expensive. So those were the things that took away all the money I had on me. Because as at the time I got to United States, I was still having around $15,000. So all this money got exhausted because I was in hotel for a month and a half before I got an accommodation, which is $1,000 every month. So the money got exhausted. But the church understand and they were planning for me. They got $2,000 within the congregation, and fortunately for me, when I thought all hope was lost, somebody paid for my surgery, and that was $30,000. And he said they should use the $2,000 for my medication and for feeding. So I don't know the person up to now. They did not reveal who the person was, but somebody paid for my surgery. The person is part of a New Song Ministry too. So through Pastor Tony and Uncle Dipe, my surgery was paid for, and I had surgery, and that was in December 2016, December 1st, 2016. I had my surgery, and that was the very first time I was happy in my life because I got a solution that will make me walk. And December after that, though I went through a lot of pain because they have to use a tailor's partial frame, and they have to use a rod inside my to this right ankle because it was twisted. They have to bring it out and they fuse it. It is fused now. I can only wiggle my toe. But I can only wiggle the toes. I can't do anything with the rest of the part of this leg. Though they are trying to do something to it to make it work again, but for me to be able to get back on my feet, and walk again, that is the reason they have to do this process first. And this is the only option for that time. As at that time, they fuse the ankle, they put a rod, and they use the tailor partial frame for the nail to straighten it out. So we have to screw up the tailor partial frame every time. So After 3 months, March 1st, the talus fascia frame was taken out. I have the talus fascia frame with me here. So, this is the rod, and this is the nail.
Okay.
The rod is too long.
Okay.
The nails are too long. So it touches me here.
Okay.
So it's when it touches here, I feel that's the reason when I walk I feel much pain. Because that was done in India.
Okay.
And they don't want to do anything to it yet in United States until after I started walking. So corrected too because it is fused.
Okay.
So they are looking for a way to get it unfused if it's possible. But we don't know yet. We have to get to know that. So this toe, because my toes got burns.
Okay.
My toes got it was so worst then. It got burns, and due to that process, I used to have pus coming out of this left toe. It's always with pus, and we had podiatry surgeon. I had a podiatry surgeon who always treat it every month. So I had cellulitis to this place, to where they had the surgery, where they cut to fix the tibia and fibula fracture. Cellulitis is I mean, I don't know how to explain cellulitis, but that I had cellulitis.
Okay, cellulitis, okay.
Yes, but it got healed after I was in UH for 2 weeks.
That's in the United States.
United States. Then it got healed. Recently, I had it too. Recently, not too, but it was not as much as it was then. So, my health is deteriorating because, if I was in US, they know what they will do. They check on me every time. Every week, I go to see this doctor. And when I have any strange feelings, the emergency, they send 911 to pick me up. Then they check everything. They have X-rays, they do CT scan, they do everything for me.
So there's a departure from the UCH kind of treatment to the United States kind of treatment. Okay, between the UCH in Nigeria, India, and US, which I would say was proactive.
United States is better.
Okay.
India is okay too, because they really tried. If not for them, I would not be able to get to US.
Okay.
So they did their best for me that was like a first aid for me to get to where I would get a proper treatment. So they tried. So US, Dr. Sontish really tried, and he want me to work. So in March 1st, when they took the device out, they put a what's it called, cat shoe and a brace to my nail. So I have to work with that gradually. I started learning. I was in a rehabilitation center. Then I started physical therapy. I was doing all that, and it was getting a bit easier. Then I started walking, and that was when I was happy that I could walk, because all hope was lost that I was not going to walk again. But I was able to walk, and now the point is we have plastic surgery to do. We have orthopedic and podiatry surgery. And that is what I am soliciting for.
Now.
I want to have a plastic surgery because my gluteal region is still, it has not been fixed properly yet. It's just for it to be a bit okay for me to sit. So now it's more or less like I'm sitting on my bone, because the flesh has been cut. They've cut the flesh off. So they have to fix that, and the plastic surgery for the leg too has to be done, and podiatry surgery, and they took their pain has to stop, which is the rods in my legs, and the other things that has to do with the nails has to be done too. So we calculated 28 million. That is what we are able to calculate for now. 28,096,000 naira. That is what we are able to calculate. I know it's always more than, it's going to be more than that, but at least with that, that will make me have these stages of the surgeries. Then we can easily have the final bill later. But for the estimate, we have that 28,096,000. I want to be useful to myself again. I want to be useful to my family. I want to be useful to the community at large. I've always been liability on everyone. They lift me up. They carry me for everything. I depend on everyone. I can't do things on my own. It gets me tired. I want to come back to myself. That's all I want. I want to come back to myself. I just want to be back to myself again. That's all I want, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry for making this happen. I'm sorry for bringing you this. I mean, I can't just hide it. Uncle Bunka, I'm so sorry. I make you go through this emotion. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't make everybody cry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I promise not to be this emotional. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I
saw you using a painkiller or injection. Can you tell us about that? How does it make you feel?
Yes, that's the injection I got used to in UCH, pentazocine injection.
What do you call it?
Pentazocine injection, and they told me frankly now that I'm addicted to it.
So is there a way out of it?
There's gonna be a way out. Because I exhausted all my medication from the United States, which has been working for me. We just got a new prescription again. We've tried several medications. It's been try and error. But recently I got a new prescription. Because I don't sleep at night. I have to take sleeping pills to sleep. And it's getting so much in my system. And it's so dangerous. The pentazocine, I know it's still dangerous to my health. I read it a lot and I know it's dangerous. But I can't do anything to the pain without the injection. Recently, Chief bought me those medications they prescribed for me when we couldn't afford that much money, because I had to have x-rays, and that x-ray, they gave me prescription for x-ray, which is 55,000 naira. We spend money every day on my medication, on my injections, on everything. So the new medication, we couldn't get the actual one they asked me to buy. They asked us to get Cocodamol 30, 500, but Chief was able to get 500, so it's not working. So I still have to take the injection.
Okay, on the last note, can you say something to Nigerians, and how are you going to feel if you can get everything back again?
I always want to smile. I always want to make people happy around me. It's so unfortunate that all my plans did not go as I have always wanted it. Like, I want everyone around me to be happy. Now I am in this position. I can't fulfill that part. I pray that I will still be able to fulfill it, because everyone around me always, they know that I make them happy. But since I fall victim of these circumstances, it's been so hard for me. Rather, I bring pain to others, because everyone that comes around me, it's either they cry or they feel pain or they feel my pain and they can't help it. So many people avoid seeing me because they know they have to go through some process of pain. So people fall sick because of me. I want to be back to myself. I know that's when I'll be able to achieve what I have always planned to do in my life. I've always planned to be of help to people. I want to be back to my feet again. I want to work. I want to be back like I used to be. I want to be this lively for me that I used to be before. I don't want to be in pain every time anymore. I don't want to be in liability anymore. I don't want to be in sorrow anymore. Please, Nigerians, please, I beg you. I beg you, I want to come back to myself. I want to be useful to myself and my family. They have done a lot for me. I want to be useful to my good friends that are
stood by me from the day one to this moment, and I want to be useful to the society at large. This is my kind of person. I've always planned it. It's always, I write things down, what I wish to do for Nigeria, but it's never worked out. I thought it was going to work easily, but I fell victim of circumstances. Please, please, I pray that every one of you watching this or hearing about this, no one will fall victim of circumstances in the name of Jesus, and no one of your family or your friends will fall victim in inshallah. I pray, please help me.